Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is super exciting because I will be sharing with you the new Tower 28 blushes that they just released here in my little claw hand. So they just released 3 new shades to their Beach Please Luminous Cream Blush line, and they are absolutely beautiful and I'm so excited about all 3 of them. I'm sure you can already tell which one my favorite is, that one there, Power Hour. But I'll be sharing with you swatches, comparisons, and some possible like shade and formula dupes. So yeah, that will be today's video and I'm so excited, and thank you to Tower 28 for sending these to me because it is such a pleasure to be able to share these shades with all of you and share with you some dupes and things like that. So let's get started. The first shade I have here is the shade After Hours. This is a sun-kissed berry shade, and this is such a beautiful shade. It has a lot of depth to it and I think will be really great for deeper skin tones, but can be sheared out for lighter skin tones as well. These blushes pack a lot of pigment, but can be easily blended out, which is really nice because they just work on a variety of skin tones, which I really appreciate. And the next shade I have here is the shade Rush Hour, which is a sun-kissed peach color. And this is a beautiful peachy warm shade on the cheeks, and I really like this one. I wasn't expecting to like this one as much as I do, but I love it. It's beautiful. And finally, my favorite shade we have here is the shade Power Hour, which is a sun-kissed terracotta. And I love makeup this shade in general, like lip colors, cheek colors, eye colors. I freaking love this shade so much. It's like a warm, burnty, reddy brown, and that's like my favorite shade ever. It is what I'm wearing on my eyes, my cheeks, and my lips right now in this video, so you can get a good look at what this looks like on my skin tone. And when I shared this on my Instagram, so many of you were really excited about this shade. A lot of you that follow me are similar skin tone to me, so we all are very gravitated and like gravitate towards this color. So this shade is very exciting for us and I love it. For sure my favorite, although I love them all. I'm gonna wear this one the most for sure. And it's just like absolutely stunning. So that is all 3 of them. After Hours, Power Hour, and Rush Hour here. I love that they came out with these shades. They're just so stunning and are gonna work for the entire year, sheared out or really impactful if you want, because they pack a lot of pigment like I mentioned before. But I'm so excited about all of these and they're just stunning. And they're such a great addition to the blushes that they already have in Magic Hour, Golden Hour, and Happy Hour. I just think that this whole range now is nearly complete. I'm sure some of you would like some different shades from them, but the ones that they have now are just like stunning. And yeah, I just think that they're so great, and the formula is like a balmy, creamy type blush. It does stay fairly dewy on the cheeks. It does dry down a little bit, but it packs so much pigment, blends really well, and is just a stunning blush. And so many people love it for good reasons because it's just like an incredible formula. And now they have a huge range of colors that's just absolutely stunning. So yeah, these are the new blushes. I'm really excited about them, and I'm so excited to share with you some shade dupes and some mixing and matching of some colors. So first, I went on my Instagram and I asked you what you wanted to see in this video, some comparisons, some shade and formula comparisons, and then just like comparisons within the blushes as well. And the first thing that a lot of people asked were to compare the shades Golden Hour and Rush Hour within the Tower 28 Beach Please blush line. So this is the shade Golden Hour and this is the shade Rush Hour. And you can see next to each other that they're very similar, but they do have their differences. Golden Hour is a lot more deep and a lot more orange, whereas Rush Hour is a little bit lighter and a lot more peachy. And they're just beautiful shades. I was thinking that maybe if you had Golden Hour, you didn't need Rush Hour because you could, I don't know, like sheer out Golden Hour to make it more peachy or something, but they are quite different now that I'm looking at them. But they're also very, very similar, so it's a hard decision to make, but I will show you swatches obviously of them next to each other and whatnot. And then I had someone ask me if I could mix Golden Hour and Magic Hour and see if I can create with these two shades Rush Hour, which my hands are just claws, which I can totally see that happening. So I will do that. I will take a little bit of Golden Hour and a little bit of Rush Hour, or sorry, Magic Hour, and I'll mix them here on my hand. And see if I get the shade Rush Hour. So yeah, you basically do. So this shade here is the shade Magic Hour mixed with Golden Hour. And then this shade here is the shade Rush Hour, which is their new shade. And those are so similar. And I've never really thought about mixing the shades, but that's freaking genius. And wow, revolutionary. So in conclusion, yes, when you mix the shade Magic Hour with Golden Hour, you get something very similar to Rush Hour, which is amazing. Okay, so next I will share with you some color dupes for the shades. The one that I found the most similar shades is the shade Power Hour, because I'm in love with this shade, so I have so many things similar to it in my collection. So I'm gonna take the shade Power Hour and I'm just gonna swatch it at the top of my hand here, like that, and then I'll put all the shades similar to it, like running perpendicular to it. So I realized while swatching all my blushes next to it that this Tower 28 Beach Please Luminous Cream Blush is such a unique formula. When you swatch it, it has like such a grip to it, and it's just a very pigmented and it's a very balmy, and everything else I own just is a little different and a lot waterier. So the best shade dupe that I have is the shade Storm. I also had quite a few of you asking me to swatch this next to Power Hour, and you all have such a good eye because they're so similar. So I'll just swatch it here, and you can see that the colors are nearly the same. The formulas are so different, but the colors are very similar. The Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Storm, which is this one here, is a lot more watery and kind of slides on the skin a lot easier. And then this one by Tower 28 in the shade Power Hour, again, it has a lot more grip and is a lot balmier. And the next one that I have here that is a similar shade is the shade Beach Babe by Nude Sticks, and I'd say that this is the most similar formula actually to the Tower 28 one because it's a lot more creamy and not as watery. But I would say that the Dewy Blushes by Nude Sticks are the most similar in formula. I couldn't find a shade dupe in Nude Sticks, but formula wise, the dewy ones I think are like spot on dupes for the Tower 28 blushes. And another shade dupe is the shade Sunkissed by Nude Sticks, which is this one here. And then some of you asked me to swatch Patrick Ta She's So LA next to the Tower 28 one, so I'll take the cream and swatch it. This one is similar but not like It's like the least similar in all the ones that I own. And it's a very sheer, it's so much more sheer than the other shades that I have as well. You really have to build it up. And then I also had some of you ask me to swatch Venetian Rose. And Venetian Rose is actually such a spot on color dupe, but formula wise, it's very different. Another shade dupe I have is the Sunnies Face shade in Moon. I had one of you also ask me to share swatches or like comparisons of this, and this is very different formula wise. The Sunnies Face blushes are so very powdery, and they're not even really, I don't know, they're not creamy at all. They just hit the skin and they become powder essentially, but this is a very similar shade dupe. So this is Moon by Sunnies Face. And then another similar, I'd say, formula dupe. The shade is similar as well, but like it's more similar with regards to the formula, is the Undone Beauty cream blushes. These have a very creamy, like grippy formula as well, and are quite similar to the Tower 28 ones because they have that like same grip to them when you're swatching them. But it is slightly more slippy. So here are all of them. Sorry if this is a little confusing, but I'll point them all out. This one is the shade Power Hour by Tower 28. We have Moon by Sunnies Face, Storm Cloud Paint by Glossier, Beach Babe by Nude Sticks, Sunkissed by Nude Sticks, She's So LA by Patrick Ta, Venetian Rose by M Cosmetics, and then down here we have the Undone Beauty blush in the shade Rosewood. So here are all the similar shade dupes that I found in my collection. I clearly love this type of shade, so that's why I have a crap load of them. It's a little bit ridiculous, but it's just so beautiful. And I'd say again, the best formula shade, or the formula that's closest to it, is the Nude Sticks one. Best shade match is the shade Storm by Glossier. So there you have it. Those are all of the shade matches and formula comparisons to the new Tower 28 shade in Power Hour. And next up, I'm gonna do the blush in After Hours, which is their Sunkissed Berry shade, and I found a few that match this. So I'm gonna do the same thing and put the shade After Hours at the top of my hand, and then all the comparisons down at the bottom. So the closest comparison I have for this one is actually my Merit Beauty blush in the shade Raspberry Beret, which I'll put right here. But it's still quite different. This is a lot more purpley, and this is more like pinky berry shady, if that makes sense, like more raspberry, and this is more like grape. This again is not like a good formula dupe because this is so much more like slippy, and this is a lot more balmy and has a lot more grip to it. Another shade comparison and shade dupe is the shade Raz by Sunnies Face. And this is very similar as well, but again, the formula is just not the same at all. Color is also a lot more vibrant, a lot more pink. This is like a more subdued Sunkissed Berry shade, and this is like a vibrant raspberry. And then we have the Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Merlot Moment, and I found that this is very similar as well. Color wise. Formula wise, this one's so slippy and like wet, if that makes sense, but it's so similar color wise. And finally, we have the Patrick Ta Oshi's Different blush, the cream blush here. Shade wise, this is also very similar. So for the Tower 28 After Hours blush, some shade dupes we have here are the Merit Beauty Raspberry Beret, the Sunnies Face blush in Raz, the Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Merlot Moment, And then the Patrick Ta blush in Oh She's Different. So here are all the shade comparisons for the Tower 28 After Hours blush. This is like the only time that having an extremely massive and excessive blush collection comes in handy, because I got so many dupes. I don't even want you to know how many blushes I have. It is like high-key embarrassing. And the next one we have here is the shade Rush Hour, and I'll show you the shade dupes that I found for this one as well. I was actually pretty shocked with how many shades I found that were similar to this in my collection, because these peachy colors aren't really ones that I gravitate towards, but surprisingly I have a ton in my collection that looks so similar to it. So again, at the top I will put the Tower 28 Rush Hour and share with you my dupes. So the first one is the closest shade dupe, and that is the Rare Beauty Dewy Blush in the shade Joy. Some of you asked me to share the shade Beam by Glossier, and so I'll put that on my hand as well. This is not really similar, it's a lot lighter and pinkier, I guess, but I'll put that on there because some of you asked for that comparison. And then two similar shades are the shades Sunset Sky and Peachy Peach by Cosmetics. Alright, so for this one we have the Tower 28 in the shade Rush Hour, we have the Rare Beauty Dewy Blush in the shade Joy, Glossier Cloud Paint in Beam, Peachy Peach by Cosmetics, and then finally Sunset Sky by Cosmetics. So none of these are spot on, but I'd say the shade Joy by Rare Beauty, once like sheared out, would be the most similar to the Tower 28 in Rush Hour. But the rest are just like, the shades are just different, but these all kind of have the same vibe to them. So those were the swatches and the review of the Tower 28 blushes, along with some shade comparisons as well as formula comparisons. I hope this was helpful. I had so much fun going through all of my cream blushes and finding dupes for these colors. It was just like such a fun experience, and I love swatching things. So that was really fun for me. If you want anything similar to that, let me know and I'd be really excited to do that. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about anything, make sure to leave it down below in the comment section and I will make sure to get back to you. But I hope you're having a good day or evening wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!